Happy Earth Day, everybody. Today, I thought I would talk a little bit about balance because it's 4/22, 2022. 4 plus 4 is 2. So many twos. Twos are like representative of balance. Um, and so, ironically, it is the most unbalanced day I've had in a while. One of those days where you wake up, you're rushing and this and that, and I've got a trip out of town tomorrow. So it'll be interesting tomorrow and the next day, and I think even the next day. This will be from the road. I believe literally from the road tomorrow. Is tomorrow Saturday? Yes. So anyways, very unbalanced day today, but that's why it's so important to focus on it. One of the things that kind of came to me yesterday is, it's Earth Day. And that's, we think about like how to save the planet and reducing the things that we have. And I don't know about you, but through 2020, I became a chronic shopper. I have gotten way too many things. I think I was reacting to fear and I just bulked up on things, but things that I'm like, what? I'm never going to use that. Or like now I have to implement plans to use this thing. And I just, before I forget, I do want to put up my ticker to show you where to go for Amy Zoller's breakfast poetry every morning at 9 Central at Hypness and Outrage on Instagram. I haven't seen it yet because it's been an unbalanced morning. But going back to balance. So, I've just gotten in this habit of like just seizing things. I have to own everything. And every time you own something, you have a debt to that thing. If you buy an art set, and I don't know, I'm just making stuff up here. If you buy an art set or a book, we'll say a book because we all buy books. You buy a book, and now that book, you owe it to read it. You owe it to review it for the author that you bought it from. There's a contract when you own something. And when you own too many things, it's like you walk through your house, personal experience, and everything is screaming at you for the things that you should be doing with it, like constant accusations. And we used to be minimalists. We sold everything we had and we moved into a camper. I've done this twice actually. I am a serial minimalist. I've actually gotten rid of everything I owned like 4 times, I think, and like actually moved country a few times. And like, yeah, so I am one of those live wires. It's just likely to drop everything at any time because we don't need this stuff. But anyways, I don't do that now, knock on wood. But yeah, so anyways, these contracts. And they clutter up your life. They clutter up your mental space. And it's really hard to be a creator when you have that. If you have emptiness around you, that's the benefit of space and emptiness, then you can fill it with you, with your creations and the things that you're doing. So I think my Earth Day New Year's goal is to try to bring back that balance in my own life and kind of clear out my space a little bit for some of these projects that I have through 2020 grabbed onto, that I'm going to do this because the world could end, and it could. But me having a giant stack of books or a paint set or whatever some of the crazy things are that I have gotten, it's not going to probably make a difference. But then lately, my cards this morning, and they've been repeatedly telling me this when I say, my usual question when I read my morning tarot cards is, where should my focus be today? And several times lately, they've said, the thing that's keeping you up at night. And the thing that's been keeping me up at night lately has been money, a lot of. And I know it's probably keeping you up too, like a lot of us are. It's not an uncommon sleep depriver, money. But yesterday, it kind of hit me because my cards keep telling me to focus on the thing that matters. Focus on the thing that matters. And it's kind of like, when you're like, well, I've got these bills coming up. Those matter a lot. Yesterday, it kind of hit me that money is good. It's important to have money, but it shouldn't be the motivation, because money is just a representation of something else. It's a representation of value. It's a representation of time spent. I write something for somebody And now they pay me money, and that is a representation of the time I spent to write that for them. And therefore, now I can take that representation, that vehicle of faith, because it actually doesn't even exist anymore, really. And then I can use it to buy something else I need. So that's all money is. It shouldn't be a motivation. I'm not saying throw caution to the wind and be a hippie but when it's a motivation, it sucks our soul out of us, and it takes the point of what we're doing away. So yes, money is good, but it's not the only wealth that we have. And especially in American culture, man, we focus on the money and the dollar and where's it coming from. But there's actually different types of wealth. And I think I knew this before, but it was my son-in-law, who's Brazilian, Luis, that really, I think he said it to my daughter at one point, Kira, and then she told me this, and I was like, yeah, that is so smart. But he's talking about in his culture, or his perspective, there's actually 4 types of wealth. There's money, financial wealth, but there's social wealth, and I know that's a really important Chinese, I think, cultural thing too. Your social wealth, basically your network of family and support system, your network of friends. If you need something, can you ask somebody for it? If you have a wealthy, rich network of friends and family to depend on, do you need money? If you need a dress hemmed up, you could go pay a bunch of money, or maybe somebody can do that for you easily, or actually just has a dress you can borrow. And then there's time wealth, which is something I am very poor on all the time, because speaking of minimalism, it's easier done with possessions for me than projects. I say yes to everything. I want to do everything. I want to know everything. I can't, I don't want to say I can't, but I have a very difficult time not getting involved in every single thing. I am like the biggest busybody, nosy person. I respect your privacy, but if you're like, oh, hey, Angela, come here and see this, I'm there. I am really surprised I am not the kid that got kidnapped when I was a kid, from somebody saying, hey, little girl, come on, see what's in my van. I'd have been there. I did actually get kidnapped once, but fortunately somebody saw me getting drug out of the Kmart, and it was my parents saw me getting drug out of that Kmart, so didn't actually go through with that. So anyways, time wealth. And then you have physical wealth, which is your health. And that's, obviously being fit. It doesn't mean being a certain media approved look or anything, but just, you're healthy, you feel good, you don't make all the sex noises when you get out of a chair anymore, you're fit and feeling fantastic. And so physical wealth, time wealth, social wealth, and financial wealth. And I'm going to say there's a 5th wealth, and that's spiritual wealth. And that is when you feel inwardly that you know where your path is, and you feel connected to whatever it is you connect with, whatever name it goes by, God, or faith in yourself, or the Tao, or the universe, whatever you call it. I think it's all the same thing. I think we're all speaking the same language here. We're just using different words for it. So I think that's a 5th wealth, the spiritual wealth. But anyways, that was Preacher Angela today. Okay. Telling you all of these things that you probably already knew. And I'm just catching up to that. But that is my thoughts for today. So happy Earth Day, happy day of balance. I wish you balance for this next Earth Day year. And as a poem, because this is the poetry challenge, I'm going to share haiku out of these wonderful little books. Speaking of possessions and having too many books, I got these in a thrift store, I think, or maybe they were a prize from something, or anyways, somehow I acquired these 4 little haiku books. Whoops, there we go. 4 little haiku books, and I have just loved these. They're beautiful. I dip into them often just for, I just need something to pick me up. I will grab one of these, and they are I'm not going to say all the masters of haiku, but a lot of the names and a lot of the very big haiku names. So I'm going to read a couple. And this one is from Four Seasons, the Japanese haiku second series. And this is from Rokan. On these rainy days, that old poet, Rokan, wallows in self-pity. Basho. The calling bell travels the curling mistways, autumn morning. Basho again. We stand still to hear tinkle of far temple bell, willow leaves falling. And here's Busan. The evening breezes, water lapping lightly on the heron's leg sticks. And Tori, the wet kingfisher shakes his feathers in the late night. Oh, my goodness. Sorry. The wet kingfisher shakes his feathers in the late reflected sunlight. So, anyways, now I'm in the mood to read some haiku, but I have to go do a couple other things today. That was from this little vintage book I have, copyright 1958 by the Peter Popper Press. But I just love these little, I wish I could remember where I got them from, but yeah, they're beautiful little books. But I hope that you enjoyed this little poetry challenge this morning, and I hope you have a beautiful Earth Day. And I hope that, I don't know, you'll think of the ways that you are wealthy, besides just money. And I don't know, maybe come with me to kind of realize that money should not be the motivation, because every time it is, everything just gets messed up. So that is my super hokey granola message for today. And I will see you tomorrow from the road, hopefully. So, all right, have a wonderful Earth Day and goodbye.